Hello everyone, my name is Curtis. Today I'm doing a review for Real Housewives of Atlanta, Season 17, Episode 1. Before I get started with the review, I do want to let you all know that I've already recapped the first 5 minutes of this episode, so if you go on my channel you will see that I posted a video on Monday titled Real Housewives of Atlanta, Season 17, Episode 1 Review, in which I did recap the first 5 minutes. So when it comes to this review, it's actually going to pick up at the tail end of the conversation that Portia was having with K. Michelle. I would like to start this video off by giving my overall thoughts on this episode. So if I could rate it out of 10, I would give it an 8 out of 10. I felt like it did a really good job as far as like setting things up, so I was cool with it. In regards to the new people, we were introduced to K. Michelle, and I was happy to see her. You know, she was on Love and Hip Hop ATL. She was on Love and Hip Hop New York for a short time, and then also she was on Love and Hip Hop Hollywood. She had her own show on VH1, and so we have seen her over the years, but I feel like when it comes to this show, it's definitely going to change everybody's mindset about her. I know she has a bad reputation. I know when it comes to the industry, you know, they were trying to blackball her for a minute. It seemed like she was able to come out of that, and so I do hope that this show does help her out in regards to her reputation. In regards to Pinky, I'm not really sure how to feel about her just yet. They did not do a deep dive into her story in this episode. I mean, they did list off her accomplishments, of course, but it wasn't necessarily a deep dive. But something that was important to note was that Kelly said that she does not believe that Pinky is a girl's girl. She reached out to her, maybe to do some business, maybe to build a friendship, and she left her on red, so she said she doesn't believe that she's a girl's girl. So I am looking forward to see, you know, how things play out when it comes to Pinky. I know there are a lot of stories out there now because she filed bankruptcy, so we feel like we kind of already know her. But I'm looking forward to see how things play out on the show. Also, speaking of Pinky, she actually has a restaurant on the Baltimore Peninsula, so I want to give you all the address if you haven't been there. So the address is 2424 Distillery Street, Suite 2120, Baltimore, Maryland. Once again, that's 2424 Distillery Street, Suite 2120 in Baltimore, Maryland. If you haven't been there, check it out. Let me know how it was. If you have been there, let me know in the comments if it was good or if it was bad. Now, when it comes to the people who were here last year, so the returning cast, I stated this in my trailer review, but when it comes to Kelly, I was actually shocked to see that she was coming back because I felt like her storyline was not really that strong for her to actually come back for another season. Now, when I say it's not that strong, I'm not trying to downplay her domestic violence situation, and also I'm not trying to take away from the fact that she's a business owner, opening up multiple businesses. It's just that what they showed us on the show, in my opinion, it wasn't really strong enough for her to actually come back. And so the fact that she is back, I mean, good for her. It's just I wasn't expecting her. And then also when it comes to Drew, I did not expect Drew to come back. She did have a great reunion, but I felt like her story has been so tied up with Ralph that they would have felt like there would be no reason to bring her back now that she's divorced from him. But of course, we see that the guy Black that was mentioned last season, apparently these two are dating, so I guess it would make sense to bring her back so they can kind of flush that out and then also see if she was cheating on Ralph the entire time. In regards to Phaedra, I'm not surprised that she's back because if we go back to the reunion, they made it pretty clear that she signed a really good contract and that she was coming back, so it's not surprising. The only thing about her is I'm not really sure what she's going to contribute when it comes to her own individual storyline. I know what she's going to contribute to the group storyline, but I'm just not sure what she's going to contribute when it comes to her own individual story. When it comes to Shamia, I was kind of surprised that she came back as well because last season, at the beginning at least, it was kind of seeming like she was going to be the it girl. She was going to be the centerpiece. She was going to be the one with the wealth. She was going to be the one that's going to basically show these girls how to do it. But unfortunately, as time went on, she kind of went back into her friend role. It wasn't something I think that she thought that she was going to do, but she ended up going back to her friend up role. And then once we got to the reunion, she just fell apart. She crumbled. She had a terrible experience at the reunion. Then she made that video where it looked like she was kind of like signing off, so I thought that she wasn't coming back, but she is here. In regards to Angela, I'm not surprised that she's back because she was a fan favorite. She was definitely my favorite last season, up until the very end of last season. Everything was going good, everything was going fine. It didn't matter who said what, she always had something for them. It just seemed like she was going to have an amazing, incredible season. But then at the very end, she decided to be gullible and go along with some bullshit. And I was like, oh, Angela, why would you do that? Because this is the thing. Phaedra could have done everything that the guy said, but it really doesn't matter because it just looked like, what are you doing? It looked chaotic. It looked like she was the one who set everything up. It didn't seem like everything was truthful. This guy said it was a person named Junebug, but apparently he was covering up for somebody else. It was a mess. It was crazy. So she really fucked up at the end. She tried to save herself at the reunion, but it just did not work. And so I'm hoping that when it comes to this season, she's going to have an amazing season. and she doesn't allow anybody to come in and fuck up what she worked hard for. And lastly, Portia. When it comes to Portia, I don't think anybody's surprised that she's back. When it comes to her storyline, it seems like she's going to be going back and forth between a man and a woman, so I guess she's going to be exploring her bisexuality, which, I mean, cool, why not? I mean, it's something that we need to see on TV, but I do hope that this storyline is fleshed out, hope it's not bullshit, and also hope that I do not ever have to hear about Simon, ever have to hear about Fallon, and also I do not want to hear anything about Dennis. Now that I got my overall thoughts out of the way, I'm going to get started with the episode review. Alright, so to recap, I did bring this up a little bit earlier, but I know there was a lot in between. But I did already review the first 5 minutes of this episode, so I'm going to pick up at the tail end of the conversation that Portia was having with K. Michelle. So if you do remember, K. Michelle asked Portia if Shamea was her best friend. She said, you know what, that is my ex-best friend. But then she says, you know, when it comes to the event that she is throwing, she feels like it wouldn't make any sense not to invite Shamea. Like, why am I inviting all of these people? It's supposed to be a brand new beginning, trying to spark up all of these friendships. She would feel pretty bad if she did not invite Shamea. And so, as the two of them are talking, Portia brings up Drew. She was like, do you know Drew? K. Michelle was like, no. And so, Portia was like, you know, when it comes to Drew, I do not want you to argue with her. Then she says, you know what? Let me ask you a question, K. Michelle. Who are you beefing with now when it comes to the music industry? K. Michelle tells her that she's not currently beefing with anybody, but then she says she feels like everybody prejudges her, and then she starts to cry. Then she gets into the confessionals and she starts talking about her past when it comes to the city of Atlanta. So she does bring up the incident that allegedly happened with Memphis, and then she brings up the fact that Toya, who was with Memphis at the time, you know, they were kind of going back and forth. And then when she was on Love and Hip Hop, remember the situation that happened between her and Rashida at the end of season 1. So she's saying right now she just wants to prove everybody wrong, that she can sing, that she's talented, and that anything that they said in the past really doesn't matter because she's moving up, she's moving forward. I mean, look at her. She went from Love and Hip Hop to Real Housewives of Atlanta. I feel like she's proving something. And speaking of Shamea, we see her in the next scene with her daughter. Somebody knocks on the door, so they do run to the door, and it's Kelly. And y'all, Kelly is so damn loud. I completely forgot how loud Kelly was until I saw her pop up. I was like, damn, Kelly is loud. Y'all remember her in the last season? I was trying to figure out if you stole that lady's husband. Oh, it just brought back all of those memories. I'm like, Kelly, please relax. Chill out. Calm down. It's not that serious. You do not have to be that loud. Shamea gets into the confessionals and she says that Kelly is now her BFF. I was like, that is quite interesting. But she says that's her BFF. She can call her for anything. If she needs any type of help, she will help her. She says that their friendship is so strong that she thought about making her a sister wife. She says she spoke to Gerald about it. He said, fuck no. But if he would have said yes, she would have indeed been a sister wife. Kelly comes inside the house, and before I get into the conversation that her and Shamea had, I just want to point out something really quickly. Did you all see Shamea's mom? Her mom is so pretty, which, I mean, I guess it's not surprising. I mean, Shamea is a beautiful woman, so it's not surprising that her mom's beautiful as well, but I just wanted to point that out. She's really pretty. Shamea and Kelly sit down to have a conversation. When it comes to Kelly, her daughter is in college. I believe she said that she's at Spelman. So Shamea actually got her a basket, like a welcome to college basket. In the basket, there is wine. Of course, her daughter can't drink. She's underage. But she got her wine, and she said that she got it for her because when it comes to college kids, they normally start drinking once they're freshmen, so she wants to kind of help her out. Kelly was like, absolutely not. She also got her daughter some condoms. Kelly was like, come on now, I'm not trying to think about my daughter fucking. But she says, you know what, I'm going to get you back because you have a daughter. Eventually, she's going to go to college, and I'm going to do the same thing for her. During the scene, we find out that Shamea has a rump company. So she says she's not necessarily business savvy, but this is something that she wants to do because when it comes to Gerald, he works so hard, and she doesn't really want to have to ask him for money every single time she needs something. She said that he has already invested 6 figures into her singing career, so she just kind of wants to give him a break. And then also she says she already does other things on the side, but she does want a actual company so it can bring in steady income. And she does do a lot of things on the side, especially when it comes to the NBA, because I do have the NBA League Pass. And so when they go to commercial break, normally, you see a commercial, but on League Pass, you can actually see what they do during the commercial break and also during halftime. And I see her all the time when it comes to the Hawks game, so she's definitely out there working. Shamea then brings up the event that Portia's having, and she says that she's excited to go, but then she starts thinking about the reunion when she gets into her confessionals. And she's like, when it comes to the reunion, there were a lot of things that were said that I did not catch. So, as I said a little bit earlier, she did not do a good job at the reunion. Unfortunately, she fell apart. She crumbled. I think she was just used to kind of like that friend of role because I believe she was on the season 9 reunion. I'm not sure if she was on any other ones, but she was kind of used to like the friend of role. She wasn't used to the full time role, so they just steamrolled over her, right? But she was saying that at the reunion, Portia was saying a lot of slick shit that she did not catch at the time. So once the reunion actually aired and she watched it, she was like, oh shit, she was saying all of that. And so she said that she reached out to her through text messages to try to get clarification. And they actually went back and forth and it actually kind of made their relationship worse. She did not say exactly what was in the text messages, but she did do a lot of hand movements. And what I took from the hand movements was there was a lot of bitches, hoes, shut the fuck up, mind your business. I said what the fuck I said. What the fuck are you gonna do about it? It is what it is. Fuck you. That's kind of what I took from it. So I'm pretty sure that's how the text message thread went. Shamia tells Kelly that if Portia comes at her with good energy, she's going to come at Portia with good energy. Kelly then asked Shamia if Gerald is going. And she was like, I'm not really sure. We see a flashback where he basically says, I'm not going to that shit. And then when it comes to the show, I think it's pretty clear, like, he does not want to be on camera. Like, he's a businessman. Like, he's not trying to be involved in this shit. Like, he's on camera the little bit of time that he is because he loves Shamia, but he's not going to an event. Kelly then asked Shamia if she believes that Portia is going to bring a man to the event. Shamia was like, well, I mean, it's a couple's event. She's a host. I'm pretty sure she's going to bring a man. Kelly was like, but what if the man wants to fuck her after the event? Shamia was like, well, I mean, I'm pretty sure Portia has been fucking in that house prior, so I really won't make a difference. So Kelly was like, well, I mean, you think that she's actually fucking somebody inside of the house, her ex-husband's house? Shamia was like, well, I mean, they're not together no more, so what's the problem? Kelly was like, I mean, you don't think that's kind of weird? And I was like, well, I mean, they're not together anymore. I think it's pretty clear that Portia was playing him. She had no intentions of really being with that man romantically. It was a transactional deal on both sides, right? So he can have a woman on his arm and she can have some money in her pocket. It wasn't anything too serious. Like, come on now, Kelly, you know what it is. We then skip ahead to the day of the event and we start to see people arrive. We see Cynthia. Then after that, we see Angela. We see Charles. So when it comes to Angela, she feels like it's weird that Portia's having a couples event a couple of months after her divorce. It is kind of weird, but you have to remember that was a transactional situation. We then see Drew and Phaedra arrive, and this is when it got a little weird to me. So when it comes to Drew, she says she doesn't have a physical person there to be her date, but she does have somebody on her phone as her date. And so when it comes to the guy Black, he was mentioned last season. So he's actually on the FaceTime, right? And Drew is introducing him to everybody on the FaceTime. So everybody walks up, hey, here's Black. Look at him, look at him, look at him, look at him. And I was just like, okay. So at first, I didn't really think anything of it. It didn't really seem like a big deal. I'm like, okay, she just got to the event. She wants to let the ladies know that she is dating somebody. So she wants to introduce them. But the problem is, she actually had him on FaceTime the entire night. So once they were all introduced, he was on FaceTime. Once they went to dinner, he was on FaceTime. When they went to the side to have a conversation, he was on FaceTime. It was just like, come on now, Drew, what's going on? It was weird. Like, he was just on FaceTime for hours. That was just, it threw me off. In regards to Phaedra, when she does arrive, Angela does see her, give her a side eye. Phaedra gets into the confessionals and she says that she feels like she's cool with pretty much everybody in the group other than Angela because she feels like Angela was trying to frame her for something that she did not do. We then see K. Michelle and her husband arrive, and when K. Michelle gets there, she's introduced to Drew. And so Drew gets into her confessional. She's like, when it comes to K. Michelle, I do not know much about her. I know that there was a time where she sung. Then she said, wait a minute, does she still sing? And so it's pretty clear that these confessionals were filmed pretty much after the season. And so she's probably talking shit because of the incident that happened that we saw in the trailer. All of the ladies outside of Shami and Pinky, because they have not arrived yet, they do end up getting together, having a conversation. And as they are talking, Phaedra looks around. She sees a guy coming in. So she's like, oh, Portia, I think your man has arrived. We then go back to Shamia's house. We are knocking on the door. And this time it's Pinky and her husband. So Shamia says that she has interviewed Pinky a couple of times. That's how she knows her. When it comes to Pinky, she does list off her accomplishments and lets everybody know that she is pretty much that girl when it comes to the city of Atlanta. We then flip back over to Portia's house. And so earlier I said that all of the ladies were there other than Shamia and Pinky. But Kelly was not there at the time, so she actually does arrive. And she arrived with this guy named Trey. And apparently this guy named Trey will fuck anything walking based off of everybody's reaction. They say that he gets around and he fucks everybody. So Kelly, I'm not really sure why you got this man on your arm. Maybe you didn't know, maybe you do know, maybe you do not care, but apparently he just fucks everybody. We then flip back over to Shamia's, And we found out that Gerald is not going to be able to make it to the event because his flight was rerouted to Charlotte. But let's keep it real for a second. If it was not rerouted, he still was not coming, so it really didn't make a difference. Back at Portia's house, they start to play an adult style game, but one of the questions that they did ask was, what is the timeline when it comes to Portia and this guy? And so Portia said that they met and started talking around COVID. And I said, wait a minute, hold on for a second, let me just go back. So I'm thinking back to season 13. Remember, that was the season where they were wearing masks because of COVID-19. And so I was like, wait a minute, season 13, that's when we met Fallon, right? And when we met Fallon, that's when we met, oh boy, what's his name? Simon, right? So I'm just like, wait a minute. So you two started talking, having conversations around COVID, but you and Simon, apparently weren't you all talking and having conversations during COVID? And so when it comes to the ladies, they're like, maybe Portia did not remember this. Maybe she just forgot. Maybe she wasn't thinking. But yeah, it's not really a good look. The group continues to talk, and as they are talking, we see that Shamia, Pinky, and Pinky's husband, they do arrive. And so they do go into the area where everybody is at. And of course, when it comes to Portia, she does greet them like, hey, how you doing? It's nice to see you. You all look great. And so it seems like it's going to be a really good time. And something that I almost forgot to mention is that when it comes to Pinky, we find out that she's actually cool with K. Michelle. And we also find out that she's actually good friends with Phaedra. So she's pretty familiar with some of the people in the group. And something else I want to bring up as well, I brought it up earlier, but when it comes to Drew and this guy Black, he is still on the FaceTime, y'all. So when Pinky and Shamia arrive, Drew is introducing them to Black on this FaceTime. It's like, can you please just hang this shit up? Once Shamia and Pinky sit down, Drew realizes that Gerald is not there. So she's like, wait a minute, hold on for a second. Where's Gerald? Shamia, where's Gerald? Why isn't Gerald here? Can somebody tell me why Gerald's not here? Where is Gerald? Shamia was looking at her like, what the fuck are you doing? Why are you so concerned? Like, mind your fucking business. Shamia was like, look, Gerald's not here for the same reason why old boy in your phone is not here. He has to travel. She's like, oh, okay, I just wanted to make sure, just wanted to double check. She was like, just double check on that FaceTime call. Don't worry about me, worry about that fucking call. I said, okay, Shamia. The two of them started going back and forth, and then Portia was just like, listen, you are kind of taking the attention away from me. This is my event, so y'all need to just calm this down. So Pinky was like, you know what, let me ask you a question, Portia. When it comes to you and old boy, when is the last time that you two fucked? And so Portia says that it's been 9 months since they fucked, but she wouldn't be mad if they fucked tonight. And so then they do a fake wedding, which I was just like, okay, this is really kind of unnecessary, but I guess it's for the dramatics. I didn't really get it, but okay, whatever. The ladies go into a different area of the house, and Angela says, you know what, Shamia, I'm so glad that you are here. I'm pretty sure Portia is glad that you are here. I really would like for you two to talk. And then Kelly was like, I feel like this would be a great time for them to talk as well, start a new leaf. And so Portia's like, look, when it comes to me and Shamia, I do not have any ill will towards her. Shamia's like, I do not have any ill will towards you either. And so you can see that they're not really trying to get into it in front of the ladies. So then Cynthia's like, well, since you two don't want to get into it, let me get you, Shamia, into it with Drew. She asked Drew, how is her relationship with Shamia? She was like, it's not anything too serious. Like, I don't have a problem with her. I'm right here. She's somewhere over there. Like, I'm not really concerned about her. Shamia was like, okay, thank you so much for acknowledging that I'm over here. I don't really have an issue with you either. I really don't give a fuck about you, to be honest. The two of them started going back and forth, and Portia was like, hold on, Drew, wait a minute, not too much on Shamia. So you can see that Portia is still defending Shamia. Like, you can tell, like, deep down inside, Portia still has love for Shamia. She's going to have Shamia's back. Like, they've been friends for a really long time. I'm pretty sure they have fallen out plenty of times. It's just that this has happened on camera, and they got a little personal at the reunion. But let's keep it real for a second. If something went down, if somebody swung on Shamia, Portia's going to have her back. Portia tells Drew that she should not go too hard on Shamia because Shamia did apologize to the entire cast. And so that's the video I was talking about when after the reunion she made the video, and I thought that she was getting ready to quit. But when it comes to Drew, she did not believe it. She felt like she was putting on, that she was just acting, which is something that people say about her, which is weird that she decided to kind of turn that around, because I'm like, Drew, everybody says that you are an actress, that you act through scenes, that you're basically using Real Housewives of Atlanta as an acting reel to get other acting jobs. So it was just weird that she tried to throw that on Shamia. And then out of nowhere, Cynthia was like, well, Shamia, do you want to take Drew to the side to apologize to her? I was like, Cynthia, shut the fuck up. Shut up. She has already apologized to the entire cast. Why is she going to pull Drew to the side to apologize? Apologize about what? What is she apologizing for? The two of them, they continue to go back and forth as far as with Shamia and Drew. And so Shamia was like, you know what, Drew? Something that throws me off about you is that you act like you were so real, you're so truthful, you down for your friends, but you told Phaedra that when it comes to Angela, you do not believe her. You said that you felt like she was lying about the things that happened at the end of last season. So Angela was like, wait a minute, hold on for a second. What did you say? She was like, yeah, she said that you were lying about the shit that happened at the end of last season, that you made it up and that she did not believe you. Phaedra then got into the confessionals and she said that after the reunion, Drew came into her dressing room and was like, hey, Phaedra, I would like to get to know you a little bit better. Phaedra was like, well, I'm not really trying to get to know you because I felt like you were plotting on me. Then she said that Drew was like, well, first of all, I did not agree with everything that Angela was talking about. I did not believe everything that she was saying. I was just trying to be a good friend, but there was some doubt on my side. And so Phaedra was like, well, I mean, if there was doubt on your side, why did you go along with it for so long? And so now it's the situation I'm trying to figure out if Drew did say that, if maybe she said a little bit of it, but not too much, or she did not say anything at all. And I'm going to be honest with you all. I do believe that Drew did go to the dressing room. She did speak to Phaedra and say, hey, I would like to be friends with you, try to be cool with you, try to build a friendship. And I do believe that Phaedra did kind of confront her about the rumors that were going around about her trying to set Angela and Charles up. And I do believe that Drew probably did say, you know what, there were some parts that I wasn't really sure about that I did not believe because I believe at the reunion she kind of touched on this a little bit. And so I can kind of see her doing that. But I'm not really sure if it was as serious as they're making it seem like she just said, like she was just a flat out liar. Something that's very important to note about this scene is that while everybody's going back and forth, K. Michelle was just looking like, oh my God, like this is crazy. She was like, when I came to this event, I was expecting it to be high class, be super bougie, everybody on their best behavior. But this shit is just as ratchet as Love and Hip Hop. Like I wasn't expecting this. Like I can't be part of this. Like I'm trying to change my image. I cannot be involved in this. So she actually gets up and she does walk outside. As she is walking outside, Kelly decided to ask Portia what was in the text messages between her and Shamia. Long story short, Portia told her, shut the fuck up, mind your business, worry about yourself, and stay the fuck out of it. And then in the last scene, this was kind of weird to me. So the guy that Portia had as far as like her date, he decided to give a speech to everybody about how he wants to thank everybody for coming to the event. And everybody was just looking like, what the fuck? First of all, who are you? Like you sitting here making these speeches, like you pay the bills, like you pay the mortgage, like you're the man of the house. Like, come on now, bro. Like, chill out. I thought that was so weird. Like, why are you sitting up here making speeches? We just met you, bro. Stop. I want to thank you all so much for watching. Really do appreciate it. If you could, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. That would be great. Hope you have a great rest of your day. Take care. Bye.